Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Monday, September 2nd, 2024. On this day of the goddess, Moon's Day, Mani's Day, it is the 12th of Virgo, the 1st of Vine, the 12th of Bear, and the 5th of Temandur. Now, in honor of it being the month of Vine, let's go over a little bit of info. Vine also refers to brim, which in the Ogham is muin. It's a kind of a berry. Symbol is the white swan. The ruling planet is Venus, which makes a sense. And it runs from the 2nd of September through the 29th of September. And it's all about symbolizing the time of year in which life and light is beginning to fade away. Everything is coming to full fruition. The harvest is well underway, and we're marching towards the autumnal equinox, at which point we're going to have a moment of equal day and equal night. And then thereafter, we are very much in the dark part of the year. Now, the white swan associated with this really represents the Tuatha De Dan, which is the native gods of Celts. And it also has to do with their personal mysteries, everything that their symbolism relates to with this time of the year. And it's all about being perceptive, supportive, creative, and just getting into the feel of this time of the year. It is time for organization. It's time to be a bit more thoughtful and careful about what we're doing because we're getting into the colder months. We're going to get into the winter, and then we're going to be stuck with the situation that we're in. So taking that into account is very much on theme for the month. It is Labor Day, by the way, so I hope you're going to have a nice barbecue with your family and friends today. I know a lot of people, they take the opportunity to get away from the weekend, usually going camping or going out to a lake or something like that. So if that's you and you're watching this later, I hope you had a wonderful time. And if it's you're on your way, well, I still hope you have a wonderful time, but definitely mark the occasion. Despite the rather unsavory origins of this particular holiday, came straight from the communist left, the idea of taking a day to really appreciate the hard work of the everyday man, of people who, they work for their living, they work with their hands day in, day out, they do everything that is required of them. I think that is a position that merits respect. I think there's the fruits of their labor is something that is well worth celebrating. And so, again, despite the unfortunate political associations, I think this is still something that there is a reasonable motivation to actually celebrate and mark the occasion. Now, it's new moon today, so we need to go over some of our rituals. It's a good time to clean house or release what no longer serves you, which is a bit at odds with taking the day off for a holiday. But if you're having to tidy things up before you have company, that can be part of your working for the new moon as well. Another suggestion is to begin habits that nourish your mind, body, and soul. Sweep away your past, especially if you're having relatives over and you would like to set a better tone, especially since we're going into holiday season. Sweeping away any kind of welcome energy that could get in the way of smoothing that situation out, probably a good idea. This is a good time of year to work on very practical and goals that are, material, quantifiable, things that you have something physical to show for it. It's also a good time to start a project, start a business. You might detox your wardrobe. At the very least, I think it is definitely time to start making that switch from summer to winter, to making sure that whenever it does turn cold, which you never know. I mean, it might do that early this year. It's always hard to say. Our weather has its own opinions about what it's doing, but being prepared for that transition is a good thing. If there are certain colors you like to wear more so at this time of year, that's a good thing. And also, the etiquette book has not retracted the admonition to not wear white after Labor Day. So until Miss Manners takes that one back, kind of shove that to the back of your closet. You also might sharpen your detail-oriented focus, take more breaks, look around, stretch. Just make sure you're taking care of every aspect of yourself so you can hold it together. Now we have a new moon tarot spread. At the top, you have a card representing intention. What intention should you focus on for this lunar cycle? That will give you an idea. Then the next card down is service to others. Where do you need to be of more service? How can you be more proactive? Because Virgo is very much about the doing. They're very fidgety if they are not doing. So that also goes with how we honor the new moon for that. Then the next card over is self-service. Where do you need to be of more service to yourself and to help realize your ultimate intentions? And the amount of self-sabotage most of us do to ourselves, it really is no joke. And breaking those habits as soon as may be is a great step forward for us. Then the fourth card is knuckle down. How can you best get work done for this intention? So this will give you an idea of things to focus on, and it'll probably also, on the flip side, give you an idea of distractions you really do need to set to the side. Then organize. How can you organize yourself and your life to better help you realize your intentions? So lots going on there. It's going to be a busy time. I hope you had a restful summer because everything's going into high gear now. Now, the details of today's astrology. The sun is in Virgo, mutable earth, representing industry. The moon is fourth quarter Virgo, mutable earth, which means to accomplish details. At 8:56 p.m. Central Time, we have the Virgo new moon. For Mercury is in Leo, fixed fire, representing ideals. Venus is in Libra, cardinal air, representing harmony. Mars is in Gemini, mutable air, which is to be pugnacious. Jupiter is in Gemini, mutable air, which is about questing. Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is to redefine dreams. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, fixed earth, representing rebellion. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is spiritual awakenings. And Pluto is retrograding in Capricorn, cardinal earth, representing transformations. Now, remember for your retrogrades, for Saturn, reclaim your authority. For Uranus, reconsider how you rebel. For Neptune, reclaim your magic. For Pluto, reclaim your ability to regenerate. And for Chiron, restore the heroic spirit. Now, our moon phase is new, and the key word for this is renewal. Now, for the Virgo moon, your dues are focus, edit, tidy. None of those keywords should come as any surprise to anyone. The don'ts are job interviews, critical people, and perfectionism. So as the new moon beckons, we must answer her call. As with the moon sitting in Virgo, this new moon is the best possible time for us to set intentions that have to do with organization, preparation, and goals that need to be achieved in an efficient manner. So if you have been struggling with time, uh, uh, deadlines and time management this past year, this is an opportunity for you to really reset the clock on that and to set a better pattern going forward. Now, for today's tarot card, we have the star. It is in the major arcana. So think persistent, far reaching impact. And we're going to be feeling this energy a little bit more than we would do some of the pip cards. The number for this card is 17. So you break that down to 1 plus 7, it equals 8. And that represents new beginnings. And the keywords for the card itself are guiding pathway, cyclical dance of energies, and hope. Where do you need to cultivate hope? And how can you follow that? What light are you looking for so that you can find the proper pathway? And also, are you keeping in mind, the general ebb and flow of the seasons? Because we are in a position of transition at this moment. Even if your weather is perhaps more summery than it is autumnal, we're still in the midst of making that change. So a few things to consider today. Now, today's Celtic triad reads, there are three uncomfortable things: a house without a mate, a chamber without food, and a body without health. I don't care what anyone says, or if anyone gets angry, or, gets their nose out of joint or anything else. The reality is that the overwhelming majority of people are meant to go through life walking hand in hand with a partner. This is not a source of shame. It doesn't make people pathetic. It doesn't mean that they aren't sufficiently independent. It doesn't mean that they are lacking an identity or any of the other bullshit things that modernity throws at us to make excuses. The people and the philosophies that are encouraging people to avoid pairing off are actively doing something that is profoundly detrimental to human life. So I'm going to go with our ancestors, and the modernists can go take a hike. That's my 2 cents, completely unsolicited. Then the chamber without food. A home without sustenance is in severe crisis. I think that goes without saying. And it's something that has to be redressed as soon as may be, because if you do not have what you need in order to function at home, your life is in danger, the household isn't going to function, nothing good comes of it. And then the matter of health. Without at least decent health, you just can't expect to accomplish much in life or in home. I mean, some people, because of severe medical conditions that are just, there's nothing they can do except manage them, or because of severe physical limitations of some kind, or perhaps mental limitations, you know, that they do the best they can in the circumstances they're in. And of course, some people overcome profound obstacles and do things that people never expected. But that being said, as a general rule, taking care of your health is ultimately going to allow you to come closer to having the life that you want. At the very least, being sickly all the time, that's going to guarantee that you're probably not going to have or do all the things that you really want to. Now, today's magical correspondences, they're on the theme of introspection, which I admit I could have chosen a better theme, seeing as how it's a holiday and it's a Virgo new moon and everything else. But that was the idea that popped out into my head. So here we go. The color for it is lavender. The plant is sage. The animal is the dragonfly, and the crystal is fluorite. When it comes to introspection, before we start seeking external help and external advice, there's a lot to be said for looking for insight and answers from within, especially if you, in case you haven't noticed, and you might have found yourself having a tendency to do this. When people seek advice, what more often than not, what they're really seeking is confirmation. They want someone to tell them what they've already decided, even if that's something that perhaps it's only unconscious or they're not willing to admit that they've already really have made up their mind. They just want someone to reassure them that that was the right choice. If you can learn to rely upon your own instincts and judgments, probably for the best. And that way, when you actually do seek external help or look for external advice, it's because you actually want it and you're not just looking for someone to shore up your own confidence. Then for today's practice, what goddess best embodies the spirit of autumn? Now, this is very much an opinion question. You have a lot of goddesses that are associated with the autumnal season. So, really, which one is speaking to you? That's the question. Then you might compare your natal moon sign with the moon's current position. How are those energies interacting? Are they compatible, incompatible? Do you feel off balance? Where are you at with that? Learning to compare the astrological environment with your astrological prerequisites, that can actually be quite instructive. Then take a look at your sacral chakra and examine how it's responding to autumnal energies. Today's Hermetic principle is correspondences. So, what correspondences do you see with autumn? What kind of interrelationships can you observe and just kind of list? The best way to learn and really take a lot of these concepts to heart and get underneath the skin of them is by living them each day, which is why, I'm kind of challenging you to look at these things in a slightly different way. And then for the witch's pyramid, today we're looking at the west wall. Now, the west wall, of course, has to do with the water element and the realm of emotion. So, what is the emotion during autumn? How is the water element present? Is it a stormy time for you? Is it a turbulent time? What is going on with all of that? But just think about how the water element is actually manifesting. Then for today's journal, how do you treat your room of purification, aka the bathroom? It's an extraordinarily important room, and yes, it can be very utilitarian, and it's there to attend to some unsightly bodily functions, which is all very well. But do you keep it, spick and span in very good order? Are you making sure that you are refreshing its energy so that it continue to be a place of purification rather than a place that it's a bit icky and you really would rather avoid? So that is what I have for you all today. Have an absolutely magical day. If you're interested, you're welcome to follow me on X at Blackbird's Brew, or you could follow the YouTuber run both channels, the Blackbird Grimoire. And of course, if you're feeling a bit chatty and you would like to get to know other practitioners, please feel free to join the Oak and Elder Witchery on Gilded. There's a link for it in the description. But I think that will do it for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.